everybody. This is going to be one of the most difficult, yet easy reviews I'm ever going to do on this channel. If you get nothing out of this, just watch like these first 30 seconds of this video, and please go watch The Silent Voice. I don't want to spoil too much, which is going to make this kind of difficult, because I think that I don't want to ruin the experience, and I think everybody should really experience this. If you don't, I feel like you're depriving yourself of a very good piece of entertainment. I guess the easy side of me is just to praise the film. And first, I'm going to praise its source material. A Silent Voice, the manga by Yoshitoki Oima, sorry about that glare, is one of the first manga that I really completed. As I said before on this channel, I'm not as big into manga as I am into anime. But this one's only 7 volumes, and it was highly recommended to me by like a whole lot of YouTubers and people all over the anime community really liking A Silent Voice, the manga. And I knew that they were making a film, and I wanted the experience of being able to read something and then seeing the show or movie, because that's not something I've really been able to do a whole lot, or really tried to do a whole lot. And because it was so short, it's only 7 volumes, I read A Silent Voice in like a week or two, just buying all the volumes and stuff like that. I didn't read scans or anything. I love the series so much that I wanted to have it on my shelf from volume 1 on. And it's really good. And the movie did it justice. This is definitely one anime I think that was really closely tied to its manga. It doesn't seem to like go away that much. Granted, I haven't read the manga in probably a year now or so. So maybe someone's going to comment down below that they messed this up in the film. But both are fabulous pieces of entertainment. I would recommend both. Probably start with whichever one you like more, I guess. I would recommend go the route that I did. Just read the 7-volume manga, please. It's really not that long, and it's really good. It's one of the best mangas I've ever read. And then go check out the movie, because it's one of the best anime films I've ever seen. But I guess if you know nothing about A Silent Voice, I'll go a little bit into the story. A Silent Voice is basically this cool like reclamation story about this guy Shoya, who as a kid, like an elementary school kid, was just a shitbag. He's a terrible bully. He's a delinquent. And one day they get a transfer student into their class named Shoko. And Shoko isn't like most elementary school girl transfer students that you'll see in anime. She is deaf. And this is the first time I've really seen somebody with a disability or anything like that kind of covered in an anime. Maybe like blindness, I guess. But like definitely the first time I've seen deafness. And a really cool thing about this, I watched it in sub. They actually got a deaf actress to voice Shoko. So when she does try and speak, it sounds authentic, like a deaf person would sound. And I found that really cool. Kudos to her performance. She did an awesome job, as did the whole cast. But yeah, so they get this transfer student named Shoko, and she's just nice as can be. Shoko is such a cool person. She just wants to fit in, and you kind of feel bad for her. She's a kid, and you know she has this thing that she can't control that makes her different. And she's instantly within like her first scene of being on the screen. And even the first like panels that she's in the manga, she was instantly one of my favorite female characters of all time in anime. Check out that list; it's gonna be coming up. But I really like Shoko, and she's thrown into this new elementary school situation, and you know she's kind of like chum in a sea of sharks with these bullies, because it's not just it's not just Shoya, but Shoya's friends are also kind of like delinquenty kind of people, and there's a sense of this like mentality when you're that young that you don't really like stand up for what's right. So there's not a lot of people that are like getting in the way of him bullying this poor girl, and he does it day in and day out. He gets this weird sick enjoyment out of it, and at the beginning of the film you really think that Shoya is a piece of shit, and he is. He tortures this girl, he steals her hearing aids all the time, breaks her hearing aids, which are really expensive, like just bullies her, will like scare her and yell at her and stuff like that. He yells at her for the sake that she can't like hear him. He sits behind her in class, and he'll just yell into her, and like it'll scare her if she feels like the vibration of it, but she can't hear it, which kind of is the joke for him. Kind of a shame on like the teachers not to stop this sooner. I know that was kind of what I first thought when reading this, but um, yeah. So I don't want to spoil too much of it, but he bullies the crap out of this girl to the point where she has to transfer schools, and this causes a massive change. Obviously, in both their lives, Shoko has to go to this new school now and try and fit in all over again, which she already tried and failed, sort of. And Shoya, who was kind of in the limelight of everybody's attention, being this like, oh, look at this cool kid, like, oh, isn't he funny? Everybody in the class now hates him, and his friends turn on him, and they said, well, you're such a piece of crap. This girl left because of you. You really hurt this girl. We're gonna tell everybody as we get older that they shouldn't be friends with you, that you're a bully, that you did this horrible thing to this perfectly nice girl. Even though some of them were kind of part of it, it doesn't really matter because that like mob mentality of kind of forming against something works. It worked in favor of him when bullying Shoko, and it goes against Shoya as he ages, as everyone starts to hate him and he doesn't get any friends. And the rest of the movie takes place when he is in his teens, and his sort of deep depression that he has about the whole thing and about his life since then and how he regrets what he did. And he eventually meets up with Shoko again, and that kind of spirals into the rest of the film. And I don't want to just please see the film. It's only about 2 hours long, you know. But they do meet up again, and there's other kids in the class that they have aged, and some of them have changed a lot, some of them haven't changed at all. And that's one thing, a theme in this that I really like is and I feel like it's sometimes it's hard to see this in reality, but the idea that people can change, and whether you're a believer in that or not. Shoya, the main character, you hate him at the beginning, but you like him as a teenager because he realized what he did wrong. He has a very, very negative opinion about himself to the point where you really feel bad for him. He is very depressed. He is very, he has incredible social anxiety. He can't even really look people in the eyes anymore. And he has like no friends, and his life is very sad at this point, and he really regrets what he did. And you feel for him, and as the movie progresses, he tries harder and harder to fix things, and you kind of like the role of the mender that he's trying to take. As for what else I liked, Kyoto Animation did the visuals for this. It looks really good. It's an anime movie that came out very recently, so I kind of expect it to look good. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of Kyoto Annie stuff. I know they're kind of like more into like the cutesy, like I think like K-On! And that kind of stuff, who I believe is the same director as A Silent Voice. The film was very well directed, very well animated. The music was good. The voice acting was really good. I did watch it in the Japanese, and even though it was in a different language, there is some humor. The jokes hit. The seriousness of the situations hit across cultural barriers and stuff like that. Best performance by far was that girl I mentioned that played Shoko. She, was a deaf actress, so they got to do it. And I don't know if she ever really has done voice work before, but the few times that Shoko does actually try and speak in this movie, it stands out a lot. And there's very memorable scenes with her in it. I like how this movie really covers like the human condition, and how, like I said, people can change. Sometimes people don't want to change. Sometimes people don't. There's both aspects of that, because there are people in this cast that have changed a lot. And there's people that haven't changed at all and are still up to their old shenanigans and stuff like that, which I think is true in all walks of life. Yeah, the animation was great. Music, oh my god, the music is really good. It gets some of the song choices at some of the points, especially towards the beginning of the film, like I didn't really get, but later on, there's just very memorable scenes with beautiful animation and an incredible music to back it. Another thing I really liked was the value of an apology, and I love how this film really covered how just saying that you're sorry for something seems insignificant, but it can be a lot to people. It can be a lot to you. It can take a lot out of you. It could be one of the hardest things you ever do for some of us. And there's a lot of power in just admitting that you were wrong, and admitting that what you did spiraled out of control, and that you really regret it. And I also like the last real theme of this that I liked was action versus reputation, and I think one kind of leads into the other. So, like Shoya, for example, like his actions as a bully led to his reputation as he grew up. People looked at him like a delinquent, like this like shithead that he was as a kid. And your actions definitely do speak louder than words, in some cases, and it's kind of unfortunate that that's the case. If you take anything out of that, I feel like maybe you should get to know people before judging them more, rather than just hearing rumor, because Shoya's a much better person than a lot of the rumors that his high schoolers had heard about him. But yeah, please go see A Silent Voice. It is so good. Check out, I think it's 11 Arts. I'll put a link down below in the description to some of the theaters that it's going to be playing at. Hopefully it will be at a theater near you. Please go read the manga. It's only 7 volumes long, and it is complete. Both that and this have a solid ending, I'll give you that, and a solid story throughout. It is heart-wrenching. It'll make you laugh. It might make you cry. It almost made me cry. It can get really sad. It can get funny. It can get sad. It is a whole full range of emotions, and it's a great aesthetic, great characters, great directing. I can't recommend this highly enough. I think that this is another must-watch anime. I don't think people always compare this to Makoto Shinkai's Your Name, because I think they came out nearly the same time. I like Your Name a little bit better, and I only bring this up for the sake of the comparison that people always make. But I do categorize both of them as must-watch anime, because I think you'd be depriving yourself of some really good entertainment if you were to skip it. So yeah, please go check out A Silent Voice, and as always, this is Miasma from Gyre Media, signing out.